Professional service firms have been built on one-to-one services for ever. You work directly with clients one-on-one, and by definition, this is like the lowest leverage type of work you could ever do, right? It's like learning to be a great cook, opening up a restaurant and only letting one person in at a time. That would be weird. So is it possible to alternatively build a firm around one-to-many services? The difference today to 100 years ago is we have the internet to enable distribution. But can you actually do that when clients still need personalized advice? Today we're going to dispel some myths about one-to-many services, talk about using one-to-many to build deeper client relationships, and at the end talk through a simple, really heckin' profitable one-to-many service you could roll out tomorrow. Okay, myths. First, that every client is a unique snowflake. This is technically true, but it doesn't mean you can't still do one-to-many work for them. How about doing their one-on-one work where one-on-one is necessary, while also giving them access to one-to-many resources? Now, to be clear, you can set up camp at any level of technical nuance. You could keep things super general and broad. This will cast the widest net but provide the least value. The other end of the spectrum is one-on-one. Filing tax returns, personalized advice, doing their books. But there's a sweet spot in the middle there, being between one-to-one and one-to-many, that the one-to-oneers especially can tap into. Rather than exclusively doing one-to-one, start moving into more profitable one-to-many services. Second myth, I'm no influencer. What am I gonna do, become a YouTuber? Start a podcast? I'm a bean counter. False. False. You're probably already doing this in some form or another. An email blast to all of your clients, or maybe a subset of your clients. Whether you like it or not, you're already an influencer because people are coming to you for advice. They respect your expertise, and that expertise influences their decision making. Your job is to take that gift that you have and find the highest leverage way to help people. Last myth, that you have to stop doing one-to-one. No, doing one-to-one is what makes you really good at one-to-many. It shouldn't be either or. We've all seen those YouTubers and influencers who very obviously do not do one-to-one. It's your one-to-one experience that will make you great at one-to-many. And if you can sell to 100 people what you're currently selling to one, it goes without saying you don't have to charge much. You gotta make more money. It's just a matter of finding those 100 people. So how do you start? How do you start to transition that mindset from one-to-one to one-to-many? Because who the heck are you, bub? What makes you think people are gonna spend their hard-earned cheddar on anything you could produce? 2 steps to get you there. It's easier than you'd think. Build for who you have. You already have clients who trust you, who given the opportunity would go deeper. Start with them. Start a monthly mastermind group. Grab 10 great fit clients, give each month a topic, and solicit questions from this group of 10. In addition to those questions, pull in the questions you really want to answer. Poke around online to see what questions people are asking, and this will get the discussion going. Schedule this session for 90 minutes. Leave the last 15, 20 minutes for Q&A. People love this crap. I understand you may have never done it, but there's a ton to be learned from people hearing other people's questions. Your clients don't know the questions to ask. They draw a bunch of value from simply hearing that, and they're chalking that value up to you because you made it happen, you set the table. Okay, so that's building for who you have. Now let's talk about building for who you want. You've taken one-to-one clients and made them one-to-many clients. Let's go the other way. Imagine someone starting as a one-to-many client and then becoming one-to-one, or even better, staying as a one-to-many client forever. It's like this sweet, super profitable friend zone. Yeah, who's laughing now? We're the ones friend zoning people. Yeah. So how do we build for the people we want? Let's talk about a concept called parasocial relationships. The context in which this phrase is usually used is with celebrities. Someone's listened to every Tim Ferriss podcast, is madly in love with him, and he eventually gets a restraining order. This is an unhealthy parasocial relationship. You might also be thinking of those weird little fish that like attach themselves to sharks. Again, not related. But these relationships take many forms at varying levels of scale. From your Kim Kardashians to your person with 10 Twitter followers. And you and I are an example. We're here building a relationship right now. For goodness sakes, you are watching a YouTube video about parasocial relationships. You're only here because you have some degree of trust that you may learn something. And this trust could have stemmed from a bunch of different places. Maybe we've been friends on Twitter the last few years. Maybe we spent some time together in my accountant community. Maybe you saw my YouTube channel has some followers, and that was the little bit of social proof you needed to watch it. That trust, while it can absolutely be abused, is valuable. If I put out a course, if I was gonna sell a book, when we have this trust, you're much more likely to buy from me because you know me. We're already somewhat aligned. So that thing I'm selling is much more likely to resonate with you than some other person's course who you don't even know. This is how you build for the people you want. You want their trust. You're building toward trust. And there are a ton of ways to do this. This could be A YouTube channel, a blog, a podcast. I think actually right now podcasting is an incredibly powerful way to do this because by definition they're long form. Think about this. You record a 1-hour podcast per week about the things you want your client to hear that will provide value to them, and 100 people are walking around with you in their ear for 1 hour per week. Are you kidding me? Whatever your relationship is with that person now, meeting once a year, once a month, whatever it is, that level of trust is going to skyrocket. You cannot mimic this with one-to-one. And when you have that trust with them, simply put, you're gonna convert on those one-to-many services. Now let's talk about some examples of services you could put out there. One word of warning first. Building trust takes work. You have to deliver consistent value to someone in order to earn that trust, just to get them in the door. One-to-one is easy because people have something they need done. They need their windows cleaned. They need their tax return prepared. Getting somebody in the door on one-to-many is harder because trust is a prerequisite. They won't buy if they don't trust you already. So don't forget you have to build trust first before making the ask. But once you've built that trust machine, it works while you sleep. It's infinitely scalable. So let's cruise through a few one-to-many services. We're gonna end with a simple, zero tech, no frills solution that you can sell tomorrow. Online communities, super popular right now. Be it a Facebook group, Slack community, people are actively looking for communities who will help them solve their problems. These work best when they can be specific. What's the specific type of client that you want? Let's say creative agencies, under 10 employees. Create a community as a space for you to share your expertise, and even better, enable community members to share their expertise with each other. The best version of a community is not a fan club, it's a way to get peers together and share stuff. Now, if your goal is to build your audience, which for 99% of us, that should be the goal. Your issue is distribution. It probably makes sense for the entry-level version of this to be free. But this community can absolutely have a paid tier that can be extremely profitable. Different benefits, different access. As accountants, we actually have access to a lot of really interesting folks, the business owners. And a community can be a way for you to enable those valuable connections that people wouldn't otherwise have access to. Now, I'm a big fan of email journeys that take someone from point A to point B. With an email marketing tool, you can build out a sequence of emails. Could just be a few, could be every week for years, but it takes the person on a journey. So for example, let's say someone's just getting into real estate. What are the things you want that person to hear? Email campaigns are a great way to take that person on a beginner to expert journey in a totally automated way. Regardless of when they sign up, they start at email 1. Email 2 comes the next week, etc. You could even gather some details about that person when they sign up that impacts where on the journey they start. The nice thing here is you can also see who's reading and opening these emails. Take your most engaged people on that list. They've already built that relationship with you. Say, hey, check out this podcast I do also, or this course, or my monthly office hours. All right, last. This one is a slam dunk opportunity. No reason you couldn't roll this out tomorrow. Let's build out this mastermind group concept we talked about earlier. You can call it office hours, masterminds, whatever. The idea is you handpick 10 people from your current client list. Do a monthly live session with them where you simply answer questions. You make sure you've got a complete set of questions ahead of time, a combination of soliciting questions from them and going out and planting your own questions, all tied to a monthly topic. You answer these questions, leave a little time for Q&A at the end. When you first start this out, reach out to those clients saying, hey, we're trialing this new thing. It's gonna be free for the first 6 months. I've handpicked you. Wanna give it a try and see if it's valuable for people. In that 6 months, you're gonna learn a ton. You're gonna learn about how to make these sessions as useful as possible. You're gonna have some topics that are winners and some others that are stinkers, but that first 6-month run is gonna let you build up a library of the most helpful monthly topics and questions. So check this out. You get through 6 months and start a second group, still invite only. Reach out to 10 more people, say, hey, we're kicking off this invite only group of folks I've handpicked. It's $100 a month, $50 a month, $200 a month, whatever you're gonna charge. Here's a few testimonials from the people in our pilot group. So you can find 10 people willing to join that group, and your content schedule is whatever worked best from the last group. Maybe you grab the 4 best monthly topics, your favorite questions, and open it up to new questions from the current cohort. Virtually no prep work, and it's already kind of been validated because you went through this process with another group. Now, looking at the economics, it's really easy to see you can make great money doing this. And that price, whatever that monthly price is, can continue to go up over time as you get more niche and those topics get more specific. So let's say after that first group finishes their initial 6 months, you're gonna charge them $50 a month to keep on the program and keep doing month-over-month meetings. That's 10 folks paying you $50 a month, $500 a month for an hour of your time. So $6K per year for, let's say, 12 hours, 2 full days of work, including prep time. What are you gonna do the next 2 days? Is it gonna generate 6K? Maybe? That's a pretty high, like, billable hourly rate. Here's the thing though, it's a good start. It's only ever gonna get better from there. That's an extremely conservative example. People happily pay hundreds, even thousands of dollars to be in mastermind groups right now. But here's all that matters. You're now trading one-to-one work for one-to-many work. It's fundamentally more profitable than the work you're doing right now. Now, it isn't perfect, it isn't infinitely scalable, and you should absolutely invest in those channels that are, but it's something you could start tomorrow that's probably 2 to 5 times as profitable as the work you're otherwise doing. So, why would you not? I'd love to hear how you're approaching one-to-many. Any successful projects you've rolled out? Drop them in the comments below and let me know what you think.